Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into another fascinating book?
Absolutely. Always excited to explore new ideas and perspectives.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into Autobiography of a Yogi, a book that's been on my list for ages.
Yeah, a classic. I mean, it's captivated readers for decades, with its blend of spiritual philosophy.
And those incredible personal experiences,
It's
right?
exactly. But we're going beyond just summarizing the events.
Yeah, we're on the hunt for those hidden gems.
The insights that make this book so compelling.
The stuff about human potential
Ah.
and the nature of reality.
Yogananda presents these seemingly impossible feats, not as supernatural.
But as expressions of higher lies in action.
Right. He really invites us to question our own
And
limitations.
he pulls you in right from the start.
Right.
I mean, his childhood, imagine having visions as a child.
Glimpsing a Himalayan yogi from a past life.
Sets the stage for a life that, I don't know, it challenges our understanding of what's possible.
Definitely. And then there's the story of his mother.
So devout, a follower of Lahiri Mahasaya.
And she has this premonition of her death.
It's not just her passing that's impactful, though.
Right. It's the message she leaves behind.
Guiding young Yogananda toward his spiritual path.
It leads him on this incredible journey.
Meeting all sorts of remarkable figures along the way.
Like Paramahansa, the saint with two bodies.
The ability to bilocate, wow,
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
about our understanding of reality.
What if it's just the tip of the iceberg?
Exactly. And then there's Ganda Baba, the perfume saint,
Materializing sense, demonstrating the power of the mind.
aligning with Yogananda's emphasis on the science behind it all.
Not just about showcasing powers.
Right. He used those abilities as a testament to the divine,
Showing how spirituality can manifest.
tangibly, in ways we can perceive.
It highlights the world Yogananda navigated, where the extraordinary was interwoven with the everyday,
And those encounters were like stepping stones.
leading to the moment when he meets his guru,
Sri Iksiswar.
that first meeting.
Oh, you can feel the energy shift when he describes it.
This instant recognition, this deep connection.
It solidifies his commitment to the path.
And through Sri Yukteswar, he's introduced to Kriya Yoga.
Described as a scientific technique for, well, achieving union with the divine.
Not about blind faith.
Yogananda always emphasized the scientific and practical aspects.
Making it accessible even for those who are more, analytical.
Absolutely. Kriya Yoga, he explains, involves specific breathing exercises
Postures, concentration techniques,
to awaken and direct the life force within.
what he calls the science of God contact.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Could you explain that a little further?
Sure. Think of your spine as a central energy channel.
Okay.
And along this channel are 6 subtle energy centers.
Those are the chakras.
Yes, each chakra is like a spinning wheel of energy.
So they influence different aspects of our well-being.
Physical, emotional, spiritual.
Right.
Kriya Yoga uses specific techniques to activate and harmonize these chakras.
To accelerate our evolution, so to speak.
Exactly. And one key result is calming the mind. How our minds can be.
Always jumping from thought to thought.
Kriya Yoga gives us the tools to quiet that mental chatter.
Taming the monkey mind.
Precisely. Kriya Yoga helps us move beyond our ego-driven thoughts and connect with that quiet, infinite space within.
And this practicality, it shines through in the stories about his life at the Hermitage.
With Sri Yukteswar.
It wasn't all serious study and meditation, was it?
Not at all. There's a good dose of humor there, too.
The story about outwitting mosquitoes.
Exactly. Sri Yukteswar's approach to teaching, it fostered a deeper understanding through those real-life experiences.
Often laced with humor.
Like when he seemingly ridiculed Yogananda's fluctuating health.
Which, of course, was a lesson in itself.
Right, emphasizing the power of thought and how our beliefs can influence our reality.
It connects with his encounter with Jagadish Chandra Bose, the scientist.
The one who demonstrated that plants have feelings.
What stood out to you about that meeting?
It highlights the intersection of science and spirituality. Yogananda wasn't advocating for blind faith,
Right, but for self-discovery.
acknowledging the interconnectedness of these seemingly separate realms.
It reminds us there's still so much we don't understand about consciousness.
And the nature of reality.
Speaking of things we may not understand, there are the miracles woven throughout the book.
But they're not presented as supernatural events.
No, they're described as outcomes of applying higher laws.
Like the healing of Sasi's boils.
Or the materialization of food by Afzal Khan.
These stories are incredible, but thought-provoking. Do they suggest anyone can achieve these abilities?
With the right training and mindset, perhaps?
They challenge our assumptions about what's possible.
Yogananda emphasizes that these powers aren't magic, but rather a manifestation of, well,
Of a highly developed consciousness.
and if we're talking about incredible feats, we have to mention Giribala.
The woman yogi who lived for decades without food or drink.
This is where things start to feel really mind-bending.
Even for someone open to spiritual concepts.
Living for decades solely on cosmic energy.
It begs the question, what are the limits of human potential?
And remember how a skeptical Maharaja put her abilities to the test.
It's like a scene from a movie,
Even faced with doubt, she remained steadfast.
demonstrating the depth of her mastery.
Her story speaks volumes about self-discipline and unwavering belief. It makes you wonder what we're truly capable of.
If we could tap into even a fraction of that potential.
And Yogananda's own journey leads him westward to share this wisdom with a wider audience.
He encounters fascinating people along the way.
Like Luther Burbank, the horticulturist.
And Therese Newman, the stigmatic.
These encounters demonstrate the universal appeal of his teachings.
How they resonated with people from all walks of life.
And behind it all is this lineage of extraordinary gurus.
Like Lahiri Mahasaya, who revived Kriya Yoga.
And the enigmatic Baji, said to be immortal.
Their presence underscores the depth of the spiritual heritage.
And then we come to the passing of Sri Yukteswar.
The grief Yogananda describes is so raw, so relatable.
But then there's this astonishing twist.
His encounter with his resurrected guru,
On an astral plane.
it's where things get really complex.
Those concepts of astral planes and liberation from reincarnation.
Astral planes, as he describes them, are subtle realms of existence beyond our physical perception.
Where consciousness continues after death.
And liberation, in this context, refers to breaking free from the cycle of birth and death.
Ultimately, merging with the divine.
It's a lot to wrap your head around, but it opens up a whole new perspective.
On life, death, and consciousness.
It makes you wonder if there's more to our existence than we realize.
That's the beauty of his book.
It invites us to question, to explore, to consider possibilities.
It's definitely a lot to absorb. Maybe we should take a moment to let it all sink in.
I agree. We've covered a lot of ground. When we return, we'll delve deeper into the teachings of Kriya Yoga, its techniques, and the path to self-realization as outlined by Yogananda.
Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. So, Kriya Yoga, this ancient practice.
Passed down in secrecy for centuries.
From guru to disciple.
Like a hidden treasure, just waiting to be discovered.
And Yogananda was tasked with bringing it to the West.
The clarity and passion with which he shared these teachings is striking.
For those of us just starting to explore this, what exactly is Kriya Yoga?
It's a scientific technique, a way to control energy.
Energy control.
Yogananda describes it as awakening and directing the life force within us.
Using a combination of, what, breathing exercises?
Yes. Breathing exercises, postures, and focused concentration.
So it's not just about sitting in a cave and chanting.
Well, chanting and meditation are part of the path, but
But Kriya Yoga emphasizes a more active approach.
yes, engaging both body and mind.
Active in what sense? What does that actually look like?
Okay, imagine your spine as this central energy pathway, a cosmic highway.
The cosmic highway.
Along this highway are the 6 energy centers we talked about, the chakras.
Right, the chakras. But what do they actually do?
Each chakra corresponds to different aspects of our being, from our basic instincts to higher consciousness.
So they're like, what, spinning wheels of energy?
Exactly, influencing our physical, emotional, and even spiritual well-being.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get the picture. So Kriya Yoga helps activate these energy centers.
Yes, and harmonize them. And by consciously directing the life force through them, we can accelerate our spiritual growth.
And experience those states of peace and bliss.
It's like giving your spiritual battery a supercharge.
I like that analogy. But you mentioned calming the mind earlier.
Yes.
How does Kriya Yoga help with that?
Mm-hmm.
My mind tends to, well, race.
Especially when you try to meditate.
Exactly. A million thoughts.
That's a common experience. Our minds are like wild monkeys constantly jumping around.
So how do you tame those monkeys?
Kriya Yoga gives us the techniques, bringing stillness and clarity.
So it's not about suppressing thoughts, but more about, I don't know, transcending them.
Exactly. It's about moving beyond the constant chatter of the ego mind.
And connecting with our true nature.
That quiet, infinite space within.
Which is why Yogananda called Kriya Yoga the science of God contact.
Precisely. It's not about blind faith, but a practical approach to experiencing the divine.
Kriya Yoga isn't based on dogma or belief systems.
but on a systematic approach to self-discovery.
And one of the most fascinating aspects is its connection to the breath.
We often take breathing for granted.
But it's literally the force that sustains life.
The breath is the bridge between our physical and spiritual selves.
So Kriya Yoga teaches us to use the breath consciously.
As a tool for spiritual awakening.
So how does that work? Does the way we breathe actually influence our spiritual state?
Remember those energy centers along the spine? The chakras.
Yes.
Kriya Yoga utilizes specific breathing techniques to consciously direct energy through them.
So by controlling our breath, we can influence our energy flow.
And ultimately, our state of consciousness.
It's like using the breath as a tuning fork.
To harmonize our entire being.
It's amazing that something as simple as breathing can have such a profound impact.
It speaks to the interconnectedness of everything.
And that brings us to another important point. Yogananda didn't see this transformation as solely personal.
He emphasized applying these teachings in the world.
Living a life of service.
Exactly, contributing to a more harmonious society.
So it's not about escaping from the world, but about bringing more awareness into it.
Kriya Yoga is about recognizing our interconnectedness.
Using our spiritual insights to make a difference.
Precisely.
You know, hearing all this makes me wonder, how does one actually learn Kriya Yoga? Sounds like you need a teacher.
You're right. Yogananda emphasized the importance of finding a true guru.
A guide for the path.
While you can make progress on your own, a guru can accelerate your journey.
Like Sri Yukteswar did for Yogananda.
Right.
But it's not about blind obedience, is it?
Not at all. A true guru empowers you to discover your own inner truth.
Guiding you towards self-realization.
Exactly.
Which raises another question. What does it actually mean to be self-realized?
It's a question that's been pondered for centuries.
So what's the answer?
In the context of Yogananda's teachings, it's about realizing our oneness with the divine.
Recognizing the spark of divinity within each of us.
Exactly.
So it's not about becoming some kind of superhuman being.
No, it's about recognizing the eternal, unchanging reality.
That underlies all of our experiences.
Seeing through the illusion of separation.
And realizing our true nature.
As pure consciousness, one with the source.
It sounds like a profound shift in perspective. But is it just a mental concept? Or is it something you actually experience?
It's a direct experience. It transforms us. When we achieve self-realization, we move beyond fear, doubt, limitation.
We come to understand that our true essence is eternal.
Unchanging.
Sounds like finally coming home.
Beautifully put, it's coming home to our true selves, to the divine within.
And Yogananda offered a roadmap for this journey.
Through Kriya Yoga and the teachings of Self-Realization Fellowship.
He placed a lot of emphasis on meditation, didn't he?
Yes, he saw it as the gateway to inner peace and expanded consciousness.
Essential for quieting the mind.
Deepening our connection with the divine.
And ultimately, achieving self-realization.
Exactly.
But for many of us, meditation can feel, I don't know, daunting.
Life is so busy.
It's hard to find the time to quiet the mind.
I understand, but Yogananda offered practical techniques to make meditation more accessible.
Like focusing on the breath.
Or repeating a mantra.
To help draw our attention inward.
And quiet the mental chatter.
And over time, with consistent practice,
we can experience those states of peace and bliss that yogis talk about.
And these aren't just fleeting moments.
No. Scientific research shows that meditation can actually change our brain chemistry.
Creating lasting, positive changes.
Exactly.
So it's not some esoteric practice.
But a science-backed tool for well-being.
The more we meditate,
the more we cultivate peace, joy, love.
And those qualities naturally radiate outwards into the world.
Like becoming a source of light.
Counteracting some of the negativity.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
But the path of self-realization, it's not always easy, is it?
No, it's not a quick fix.
Yogananda was honest about the challenges.
The temptations, the doubts, the setbacks.
It's a hero's journey.
Full of trials.
But he also emphasized that we're not alone on this journey.
There's a sense of divine grace supporting us.
Like a cosmic safety net.
Always there to catch us.
That's reassuring.
It makes the journey less intimidating.
And the journey itself is part of the beauty.
Each step we take is a victory.
So it's not just about reaching the destination.
But about embracing the process of transformation.
That's a powerful message for us today.
In a world obsessed with instant gratification.
True transformation takes time.
Effort, patience.
But the rewards, as you said, are immeasurable.
A life filled with peace, joy, purpose.
And a deep connection with the divine.
Exactly.
You know, hearing all this, I can't help but wonder, is Yogananda's vision of a more harmonious world really possible?
It's a profound question. If his teachings can transform individuals,
Helping them overcome fear, anger, prejudice.
then perhaps they can have a ripple effect on the world.
It's a vision worth striving for, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And perhaps that's something for our listeners to consider. What if Yogananda's message is not just a philosophy, but a blueprint?
A blueprint for a more enlightened future.
That's a powerful thought.
Maybe we should take a moment to let that sink in.
I agree. When we come back, we'll explore the lasting legacy of his teachings and their relevance for our lives today.
Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone, as we wrap up our deep dive into Autobiography of a Yogi.
It's been quite a journey.
I'm really struck by the lasting impact of Yogananda's teachings.
It's remarkable, isn't it? Decades later.
And his message still resonates.
Inspiring people across cultures and continents.
It's one thing to write a book, but to spark a movement.
That transcends time and geography.
It speaks to the universal truths at the heart of it all.
He didn't just write about these concepts, you know.
Right, he lived them.
He created a living legacy.
That continues to evolve and expand.
His teachings weren't confined to the pages of a book.
They became a catalyst for transformation.
In the real world.
And that's embodied in the Self-Realization Fellowship,
The organization he founded.
to carry on his work.
SRF, as it's often called.
What role do you think it plays in continuing his legacy?
Well, it provides a framework for spiritual seekers.
To explore his teachings more deeply.
It's a global community united by this shared pursuit.
Of self-realization.
Yes.
So it's more than just a place to learn.
It's a supportive network.
For those walking this path.
Through SRF, Yogananda's vision continues to touch lives.
Offering guidance, community, and tools for growth.
It's a testament to the enduring power of his message.
One of the things that's most inspiring to me is how he bridged the gap between East and West.
Bringing ancient wisdom to a modern audience.
For centuries, practices like yoga and meditation were largely confined to the East.
But Yogananda envisioned a world where these teachings would be embraced globally.
And that vision has come to fruition. Autobiography of a Yogi has been translated into so many languages.
It's reached millions of readers worldwide.
It's amazing how his words have crossed cultural boundaries.
Resonating with such a diverse audience.
It's as if he planted a seed.
That has blossomed into a global garden of spiritual seekers.
Each drawn to the transformative power of his message.
It's easy to get caught up in the miraculous stories.
And the profound philosophical concepts.
But Yogananda's message was ultimately about practical spirituality.
Not just theory.
Recent application.
Applying these principles in everyday life.
He wasn't just teaching concepts, but providing tools.
For navigating the complexities of human experience.
With more grace, peace, and purpose.
Practices like meditation, cultivating a balanced life.
Embodying kindness and compassion.
These are things everyone can benefit from.
Regardless of their beliefs.
And that's what makes his teaching so relevant today.
In a world that often feels divided and chaotic,
his message offers a path toward healing.
Transformation, both individually and collectively.
It's a message of hope, grounded in a deep understanding.
Of our interconnectedness and the potential within each of us.
For love and wisdom.
Precisely.
True empowerment lies in recognizing our inherent divine nature.
Choosing to act from love and understanding.
It's like Yogananda saying, here are the tools, now go out and create change.
That's a legacy worth celebrating.
And more importantly, worth living.
As we conclude this deep dive,
I encourage you to reflect on the wisdom we've encountered.
How might these teachings illuminate your own path?
And empower you to live a more meaningful life.
Keep exploring, keep seeking.
And keep that flame of self-realization burning brightly.
Until next time, may the blessings of Yogananda and all the great gurus be with you.
And keep diving deep